We need to be diversified. We cannot rely on tourism only. We need to still believe that we are a trade and tourism market. I mean, that's who we are. That's what made us who we are. But at the same time, I think we have an opportunity to take advantage of all these amazing companies that are going into Alan's office building, or amazing residents that are going into Dan and Edgardo in my homes or buildings. And I think those people, and for us to make it more business friendly, to be in our community, and I think that's really going to help us compete, because at the end of the day, we have nations competing with nations, states competing with states, cities competing with cities, and our city, we all have to, like Alan said, all gather around and have one vision and really try to make our city the best it can.
Thank you so much, David. Can we all please give a round of applause to these gentlemen? At this point, I'd like to invite anyone who would like to ask a question to please come up to the microphone. We will just have a brief period for Q&A.
Hi, I know I'm always talking. My name is Araceli Villanueva from Douglas Element. Alan, I'm with you. I've been asking that question about the public transportation in Miami since yesterday, and you just nailed it. I love what you said. Okay, my question is, how difficult has the city been for the rezoning on your projects? If you are trying to build in an area where you need zoning changes, is it very difficult? Is the city working with you guys? I wanted to ask that to the mayor, but he left.
Well, if you're asking Miami, Miami is great. But there's many municipalities. If you're talking about Miami, my experience has been great. There's others that are not so easy, and maybe they live in a different wavelength. But what Mayor Regalado said, that they are shortening the times, and that's true. So it's becoming a very efficient city of Miami. It's becoming a very efficient city.
Anyone else want to comment on other municipalities and their experience with zoning?
It's really, like I was saying before, it's so fragmented that depending on where you're building, Miami is great because it has the rules very set, and if you comply with those rules, it's really very easy to go through the process. Same thing with Sunny Isles. We're very, very happy in Sunny Isles. It's probably the 5th or 6th project that we're doing there, and as long as you really stay within the boundaries and don't ask for anything crazy, they're very cooperative. There are other cities, including the one I live on, Key Biscayne, that is very, very difficult. So it depends on the municipality and how what you're trying to do in order to be able to accomplish that.
Great. Would anyone else like to ask questions? I think we may have time for one more.
Hello, my name is Frank Dosa, Plaza Brickell Realty. First, I want to applaud Alan Ojeda for his view on the public transportation. I think this is really what we need badly in this city. My question beyond public transportation will be park and landscaping and beautification of the city. What you, as a developer and also putting pressure on the city, what can you do to improve the number of parks, the vegetation, the landscaping of our city?
So we have a few examples of this. In Miami Beach, there's a 35-acre park called North Shore Open Space Park. It has a half a mile on the ocean. Our firm is developing adjacent to the park, and we made a contribution to the city of Miami Beach of a significant amount of dollars for the redevelopment of that park, over $10 million, and also engage West State, an amazing landscape firm, to come up with some preliminary designs. And the city right now is going through an RFP process to develop that. In Coconut Grove, all developers pay a significant amount of park impact fees to the cities when we build our projects. And in Coconut Grove, we just completed almost a 20-acre park called Regatta Park on the waterfront. So I think development is a catalyst, and I think parks are essential to amazing communities and quality of life. And I think, the more we develop in these communities, I think the more real impacts and benefits are parks and something that's more visible and real that the community can see. So our firm is actively involved in several park projects throughout every municipality we're in.
Anyone else want to add to the question?
In Miami World Center, what was interesting, besides the fact that we converted the roof of the mall into a park and amenities and so forth, on the ground floor, and this is for the public, the city actually, and the city was involved in this, and it was when we were doing the planning there, the city was heavily involved, and typically you see in urban areas, buildings will come all the way to the edge of a block. And so what the city did on First Avenue, which is being redeveloped as part of Miami World Center, is actually they set the buildings, and they forced us, and voluntarily we agreed, to set the buildings off the street and create wide open urban parks within the middle of the city. So you don't just have the parks on one side and then buildings that just come up against each other. And so you have urban parks within the middle of Miami World Center. We have wide open areas. They're telling us to put shade trees. We have in the old days they built 5-foot sidewalks. We're building 14-foot sidewalks. So now you're creating these walkable areas, very dynamic urban areas where you have shade trees, park benches, and so forth. And so within Miami World Center itself, you're going to have open parks and areas for the public to walk and enjoy that.
Thank you so much, and I'd like to thank all the panelists again. Will everyone please give a round of applause? Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And the panelists